Hey again, I'm Synesthetic Mouse. It's a nice morning in Alpha City, and today we're going to continue with the map theaters build. Eventually, there will be map theaters all over town, but in this project, I'm just building the first two. There's the theater named The River. As the name suggests, it's near the river. We'll visit that later. We're starting at the theater I call the Tower, because it's in the shadow of the tower. Yes, many of the names I end up with are very literal. Since the last time, I built the basement walls and floor at the river, and I put up the first blocks to mark where the theater spaces themselves would go. Today, or rather tonight, we'll start on the shells of the buildings and some of the theater spaces themselves. I've been putting in some temporary floors here because I haven't decided what materials to use yet. I'll finish this up, then we'll start on the walls. I'm starting with the back wall. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8, I think we're going to be doing here. Yes, I made it. So we're using my old standby here, bone block. Trying to figure out the windows. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. It's cheap. It keeps things bright. And it makes a neutral background. Indoors, it reminds me of faded wallpaper. And outdoors, ow, it looks like dusty white paint on a brick wall. I hide the bone marrow ends, though. It looks like a stain. I'm not really sure about the windows. I figure I can change them later. I want to get at least one of the street fronts of this building done today because I'm trying a new building technique and I just can't wait to see if it works. I got ahead of myself and started the theater spaces. I like my builds to be an odd number of blocks wide. I'm just drawn to that. 17 seems to be the magic number in my head right now. Since it's on a corner, I really wanted it to make it 17 by 17 square, the same as the Gold Bank. Here, it would have left a useless 1 block wide alley next to it, and the corner shop would have been silly small. I decided to eliminate the alley and make the building 18 blocks wide. I have to admit, this decision wasn't a tiny one. I really wanted it to fit into the mold that I'd come to trust. But I was trying to pound a square peg into a rectangular hole. Since the alley is gone, that gives us the opportunity to use just one wall, like we did at the tropical fish store. So if you notice the change, that's why. Yeah, because this is just going to be a cyan wall here, right? So, not a cyan terracotta. Huh. Need more cyan terracotta. Need more cyan terracotta. Cyan terracotta. Cyan terracotta. Cyan, cyan, cyan. Terracotta. I have this sinking feeling I'm out of terracotta. I'm out of terracotta. That means a trip to the Badlands, which means a trip through the Nether, which means we have to stop at the pub. To 2 fire resistance potions to go, please. Okay. And if anybody wonders, this is not Sal. These are specially trained nether animals. Okay, let's see if we can do this without any gas coming around. I suppose it's not that far. Badlands. So at some point, I want to find a pale garden, and according to Chunk Base, it's, I think, over that way. I think. So that will be the northeast, of course. Oh, well, I guess I didn't build this stupid ceiling. There's a ghast right over me. And there's one right there. Got him. The Badlands. So, I have plenty of terracotta now, and since I made you come to the Badlands, I'll put up this wall and spare you from that. So right now I'm trying to figure out what combinations will be better with the blue, because the marquee of the theater is going to be this blue concrete. So I'm kind of wondering what the upstairs walls in the building are going to have to be different colors, because I just want them to be nicer walls. But when you see these colors through the window, which you will, I want them to at least not offend your eye, you know? I really overthought this. The cyan terracotta is the walls of the theaters, so it needs to be dark. Since the theater marquee is going to have light blue, I wanted colors that don't make the blue less blue if you see them through the windows. And I made the black part bone block because I think it makes it more consistent on the outside. I tried the yellow and green blocks back here, but it looked like somebody had extra paint and didn't know what else to do with it. I still haven't completely decided on the floors. I'll figure that out and come back when it's not pouring rain. Then we'll work on the street fronts. I decided to make the floors just a combination of smooth stone and different types of wood. When I can't think of any new pattern for a floor, some kind of checkerboard always looks nice. Since the floors are also ceilings, I use stone slabs for the commercial ceilings because stores and theaters don't have wood ceilings, and the slabs can pass for tile floors also. Now it's time to put some walls up to support these floors. Kind of backward, isn't it? I use carpets to map out the windows and doors. When I have a plan and I start building, sometimes I accidentally build the mirror image of my plan and I end up frustrated. So if I mark some things out, I'm happier in the end. I'm making the first floor out of gray and light gray concrete and cyan terracotta. I already solidified the concrete. I've noticed that some city buildings that have more than one store have different colors and style for each storefront. In other buildings, all the shops have the same style and color. I suppose it depends on what the building owner's rules are. Well, I imagine this both ways, and it doesn't look right with a lot of color. The building is just too small. I want to build the upper floors using this new idea that I talked about. My idea is to use wall blocks for the walls. I know that could sound confusing. Here's what I mean. I'm going to try using wall blocks. By that, I mean a wall as in a stone wall or a garden wall. The ones that are like a stone fence with gates. I'll get a little bit more of this done, then we'll step back and see what it looks like from down there. Well, so there's the second floor done. And I'm going to leave this space right here open a little bit because that's where the theater marquee is going to be, and it's mostly going to be hidden anyway. Okay, so now I'll go in and put the third floor in, and then we'll come back and I'll put in the windows, and I'll show you how the windows really make a difference. I should mention, I don't know if anybody's actually ever built with this before. Maybe somebody else has. So in the future, if I find out that somebody else has already done this, I will make sure that I give credit where credit is due. Right now, I'm just taking some screenshots because I'm kind of proud of this right now. I like it. Since the 1.16 update, glass panes attached to... Since the 1.16 update, the glass panes... What am I trying to say? Since the 1.16 update, glass panes... See, what am I trying to think of saying here? Glass panes connect with wall sections. And they connect a little bit differently. They kind of give this... Glass panes connect more seamlessly with the wall sections. Since the 1.16 update, glass panes connect with wall sections more seamlessly. I ran out of glass and I gotta go get more, but this is interesting looking. The glass is all in and I added a simple cornice. I might change that in the future. I wanted to wait until the sun was on this building the right way. I'm really liking this building so far and I can't wait to work on the theater marquee. Before I call this video done, I want to at least visit the River Theater. I've done a little work there off camera and I want to show you. A wandering trader came around and left his llamas, so I adopted them. This building is going to be 23 blocks wide and 17 blocks deep and will be 7 stories tall. I'm making this mostly out of polished andesite. It will be bigger and have more going on than the other building. We'll work on this very soon in an upcoming video. I actually wanted to show you these other things more. While I was making this video, I got uncontrollable zoomies and went on an underground expedition, and I made some nice discoveries right under Alpha City. One of the things I found is dripstone caves. So my terracotta and clay shortage is over and no more mining in the badlands. That's what this other building is sort of about. First, I didn't want to get used to seeing the new theater building all by itself because it's going to be sharing the block and I want to see it in context. So I built this quickly so it wouldn't be lonely. Because I found the dripstone, I'm using it as a temporary place to dry mud into clay for bricks and terracotta. Since I'm sure there won't be a clay shortage anymore, I decided to celebrate by making most of it terracotta and brick. In the next video, we'll go back to the tropical fish store to build a few aquariums and take a trip to my ocean monument for some sea lanterns. The video after that, I'll show you my underground discoveries and kick off a series of new projects using the stuff I found underground, including an automatic dripstone farm and a real clay factory. Spoiler, I also found a geode and a deep dark. Well, that's all for this time. If you enjoyed visiting Alpha City, please like and subscribe to see more. I'm Synesthetic Mouse. I hope this video has been interesting and fun. See you next time. Later.